Welcome to Lawyers Who Care, the video show podcast that highlights attorneys who go above and beyond for their clients. And on each episode, we will meet a new lawyer and they will share stories of when they went beyond legal counsel for the benefit of their client. My name is Andrew Samalin. I'm the principal of Samalin Wealth, a nationally recognized wealth management firm for lawyers, their firms, and their clients. And let's applaud lawyers who care and learn from them. Today, my guest is Ashley Sharek. She's the founding attorney of Entrusted Legacy Law, and Ashley's firm provides estate planning and elder law services in Pennsylvania. Welcome, Ashley.
Welcome, Andy.
So, Ashley, tell us about how you became a lawyer.
So originally I went to law school because I wanted to argue and go to court and I wanted to be right. So I was a litigation attorney for 5 years. And I started out actually as a law clerk when I was in law school doing estate planning and really liked it and wanted to have the big job at the big firm and do, what lawyers are supposed to do apparently. And I quickly realized that was not something that I wanted to do. I didn't feel like I was serving my community. I didn't feel like I was helping people. And that's really what I wanted to do. So I kind of pivoted after 5 years of litigation and court and decided to start my own firm.
And starting the big firm, starting your boutique firm versus working at a large firm, how did you handle that from a management standpoint, from a client standpoint, and from a kind of a safety or a risk standpoint?
So really our goal when I started the firm, or my goal, was to do everything different. Estate planning is the archaic practice of law. We do a lot of things. I always joke and tell people it's 1857 still in Pennsylvania, the way we practiced estate planning law. I wanted to do it different. I wanted to do it better. I didn't want to be in the business of selling people forms that I pulled out of a book before I was born, because a lot of people view estate planning as transactional and cold, and I sold you a stack of paper and, have a nice life. So the entire firm was founded around taking a more modern approach, caring about our clients first as people and going from there, really figuring out what do they need. One of the pillars of what we try to do is educate people. So we love people to actually understand, what do these documents do? How do they help us? What plan do I actually need? No two people are the same. So no two people need the exact same estate plan. So we really focus on the education side and get people where they feel comfortable saying, oh, I actually understand what all of these things mean and what they do. And this makes perfect sense for why I need this estate plan. So that's really our entire goal, which is kind of the polar opposite of the experience I had, working at a big firm. It's transactional, it's cold. You bill your life in 6-minute intervals, which is really great for neurotic type A lawyers. And it's not good for the client, because then the client realizes, well, if I have a question, if I want to make a change to something before my signing, if I don't understand something, if I call or send an email, I'm going to get a bill. So we actually do everything on a flat fee. So our goal is to be super transparent. We want people to be comfortable with the process. We want to try to eliminate some of those barriers to entry for why people just don't want to do it.
And prior to this video, we chatted and we had a discussion that there might be a great client story you wanted to share.
Yeah. So actually it was I always get referrals from friends and family friends and that kind of stuff. And they're like, oh, my parent, my aunt, my grandpa, my uncle, whoever, they're going to be really difficult. I'm like, listen, it's fine. Give me all the difficult people. They're not actually difficult. I love chatting with them. So it was actually a friend of mine whose dad was sick, and we actually had to go to the hospital to have a meeting with him. He just was not in good health to meet with us any other way. And she kept saying, my mom and I have a nursing background, but he won't talk to us about medical stuff. He doesn't want to have these conversations. She's like, I don't want to just print a form off the internet because I don't know that he understands all of this. And he doesn't want us to explain it to him with a medical background. And I said, okay. So, we went to the hospital. We had a really good conversation and we talked about all of those really hard, tough things that nobody wants to talk about. Nobody likes to talk about end of life wishes. Nobody likes to talk about those tough medical choices that they want their family to make. And he really had a good grasp of what those decisions were and what he wanted It didn't matter what anybody else wanted. It didn't matter what his wife or his daughter, what they thought he should do. It came down to what he wanted. And he was able to articulate that to me and put that like pen to paper and write those preferences down. And about 6 weeks later, he did end up passing away. And the week before he passed was not so great. And his wife and daughter had to use that document that we did. And she called me after her dad passed and she said, I'm so grateful that you had those tough conversations with my dad. I'm glad you were able to come to the hospital and talk to him, because we knew in that moment we were making the decision that he wanted, not the decision that we would have done. And we knew that he understood from a legal standpoint what he was doing, because you explained it in plain English. You know, there was no legalese thrown in there. So he had that peace of mind making those decisions, and his family had peace of mind on the flip side, knowing that they made the choices that he wanted, which was really, really great.
And how often, so that's the awesome part of your job. And I would imagine that there are opportunities where you try to bring folks to the table to get things executed, and maybe they didn't get them executed either in time or at all.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to do estate planning. It's that thing that's important, but it's not urgent. And, you know, a lot of times people say, oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. And unfortunately, sometimes, later just doesn't happen. And really, they're just leaving a mess for their family. So nobody does an estate plan for themselves. They're not here by the time it gets to that. They're doing an estate plan for the people that they love. That's why they're doing it. So as unfun as it is to, you know, come and meet with us, I always say nobody wants to talk to us about death and dying. We get that. But we try to make it not scary, not stuffy, not stressful. And just have those real conversations to figure out what's most important to them. And then they can leave all the legal stuff to us to figure out. And they know that it's all done. You know, they made it easy for their family. Their family doesn't have to stress.
So thanks to my guest, Ashley Sharek of Entrusted Legacy Law. Ashley, can you provide our audience with your contact information so they can get in touch with you?
Sure. You can visit us on the web. It is entrustedlegacy.law. is the website. Phone number is 412-347-1731, or you can email us at intro, INTRO, at entrustedlegacy.law.
Wonderful. Everyone, this has been the Lawyers Who Care video show podcast that highlights attorneys who go above and beyond for their clients. And Ashley is just a great example of that, where, you know, had she not been there and taken that extra step, you know, who knows what that outcome would have been. So if you're an attorney or no one who goes above and beyond, feel free to reach out to us, 914-666-6600, 914-666-6600. Ashley, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks so much.